Krishna Pada Paramahangsa Acharya, Sittara Shata Shishila, His Divine Grace Sabhai Chanavina Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada Ki. His co-infinity founder Acharya Jagat Guru Krishna Prabhupada Ki. Krishna Prabhupada Ji Ki. Maha Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam Ki. Go permanently. All glorious assembly devotees. All glorious assembly devotees. All glorious assembly devotees. All glorious to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Maha Mahotsava Ki. Shri Krishna Maha Mahotsava Ki. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmiritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamupakadamayam Tadatsvah Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasnaya Bhutale Shmate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachani Viveshvishvishvivadi Pasya Nishtani Vanchakalpatarvyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Dvaita Gadadhar Srivasani Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Tat Sat. So Hare Krishna to everywhere. Thanks for coming to Srimad Bhagavatam class. Tomorrow is a very auspicious day, the day of Krishna Janmashtami. Jama means born. Ashtami, the eighth day after the full moon, the Purnima from Balarama. I think that we have around the 5,130 birthday of Krishna. We can calculate this by stars, yes, by astronomical calculation. Bhagavatam gives us to the position of the stars, and we can know the date, procedures, and the date that Krishna's appeared in this earth planet. So Damodar Prasad asked me speak about Krishna Katha, and one of Sir's more rich, best source that I know about Krishna Katha is the Brihad Bhagavatamrita from Sanatana Goswami. In the Vedas, we have 18 Mahapuranas. 6 Puranas are Rajasic, speak about Lord Brahma. 6 Puranas are Tamasic, speak about Lord Shiva. And 6 Puranas are Sattvic, speak about Lord Vishnu Narayana. But the Bhagavad Purana is the Purana that speak about Krishna. It Jamsakala Punsa Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. All Puranas, Samhitas, Vedas, Itihasas go around of this Purana, because the source of all knowledge is Krishna. Veda is Sasavari Aham Eva Vidyo. Because this Bhagavad Purana is Amalam Purana, the Immaculated, this Transcendental Purana. And this Purana speak about Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came around 500 years ago to review Vrindavan, to give Krishna persons. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we can get access to Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, that these rasas, these relationships with God, with Krishna, are so much confidential, much secret. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave us these confidential relationships in Vrindavan. So, for one understand Vrindavana, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the excellent book to do this. And the book of 6 Goswamis, they are an extension of Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you want to know, if you want to understand, if you want to enter in Vrindavana, you need to know the Srimad Bhagavatam and the books of 6 Goswami from Vrindavan. Basically, the contest is after Shukadeva Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. The recitations finished, and Parikshit Maharaj went to the Takshaka, the flying serpent, Alad serpent, the snake, Takshaka. Between this, Uttara, the mother of Maharaj Parikshit, approached of him and asked about the conversation, the things. So Parikshit Maharaj promised to her, to Uttara, his mother, that he will give a resume, a summary, a nectar, like Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Brihad means bigger. Like we have a Lago Bhagavatamrita, that is a book of Bhagavaswami. Lago means smaller, but Brihad means the major, more biggest. And Bhagavatamrita is the essence of nectar. Like we have a milk. Milk is a very tasty, very nutritive, very important drink, liquid. And on the superficie of the milk we have the cream. This is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the creme of the Vedas. But Brihad Bhagavatamrita is the cream of the cream of the cream. So we have two personalities, Narada Muni in the first volume, and the second volume, second part, we have Gopakumara. Gopakumara is a cowboy from Govardhan, and he was initiated for a very special spiritual master. This spiritual master gave a Gopal mantra to him, and when he received this mantra, he can go in everywhere. So in this portion of the history, we have Gopakumara arriving in Vrindavana. And this is very special because we can meditate about our arrival in Vrindavan. This is the very similar experience. About Gopakumara, this version that I read to you is a version from Goparanadana Prabhu. Here, we need a special consideration because Goparanadana Prabhu was a great devotee from this institution, ISKCON. He was a great scholar devotee, he know too much about Sanskrit, and not this. He was resident in Vrindavana for many years, and he living like a Brajavasi. So this edition of Bhagavatamrita, translated by Gopalananda Prabhu, is very special. So this is the preface speaking about Gopakumara by Gopalananda Prabhu. Gopakumara, the main character of the second part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, is an innocent young coward from the vicinity of Krishna's favorite hill, Govardhana. After a mysterious Brahmana initiates him into the 10-syllable Gopal mantra, a yearning to search out Lord Gopal awakens in Gopakumara's heart. Like Narada in part 1, Gopakumara searched throughout the material universe, but he also traveled beyond into the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha, and yet further to the most confidential realms of the kingdom of God, Ayodhya, Dwarka, and Goloka Vrindavan. The final message of the second part of Bhagavatamrita is the super excellence of Goloka Vrindavan, the personal abode of Krishna in his original identity as the darling son of the cowards, the lover of the goats. Sri Rupa Goswami, who regarded his elder brother Srila Sanatana as his spiritual master, acknowledged indebtedness to Brihad Bhagavatamrita in his definitive textbook of devotional service, Brihad the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Wave 1, Chapter 4, verse 13. Open quote from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Srimad Prabhupadam Bhoja Sarva Bhagavatamrite Vyakti Kritasti Gudhapi Bhakti Siddhanta Madhuri. Translation: Our Divine Master has revealed in his Bhagavatamrita all the sweet conclusions of devotional philosophy, including its most confidential secrets. Okay, now we go to the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, volume 3, chapter 6. Brihad Bhagavatamrita, volume 3. I recommend the after class. One second, please. Chapter 6. Abhishtalabha, the attainment of all desires. I will read only the translation, okay? Sri Gopakumara said, following Narada's instructions here in Braja, I went to see the many places of Sri Krishna's pastimes. I sang his names most dear to me. I sang about his pastimes loudly and sweetly. I focused my mind upon them, and I attained such a state of ecstasy and became so emotional that it embraces me even to think of it. How then can I describe this to anyone else? I spent my days and nights in great distress, always crying in pitiful voice, not knowing whether the practice I had so long been following would lead me to happiness or cast me into an ocean of distress. I couldn't tell whether I was living in the flames of a forest fire or in the supreme nectar of all the clear, cool waters of Sri Yamuna. Sometimes I thought I had fallen into the hands of some great deceiver. I was always submerged in a vast ocean of misery. Not even a drop of happiness ever touched me. In such a way, I lived in this grove, this most attractive ornament of Vrindavan, and one day, while immersed in an ocean of weeping, I feel unconscious. Then the Christ jewel of all who are merciful appeared before me. With his own lotus hand, a hand cool like nectar and always pleased to hold his flute, he wiped the dust from my lips. I wasn't easy, but the greatest of cheats playfully started me back to consciousness by filling my nostrils with his unique head fragrances, which I had never known before. Then, seeing his lotus face, I quickly stood up, not knowing what I was doing, my heart filling with joy. I tried to catch hold of his splendid yellow cloth. That king of charming heroes blew his flute in his own playful way and escaped behind me. Suddenly, he stepped into a grove, and alas, though I ran about looking, I couldn't find him. He had disappeared. Unable to see him, I fainted and fell into the swift current of the Yamuna. And as it forcefully carried me away, I seemed to regain normal awareness and looked around. I saw myself being transported to another place, along some wonderful path, by a vehicle flying faster than the mind and higher than one could imagine. Collecting my wits, I was amazed to see I was passing through Vaikuntha Loka, and going beyond, I watched with great delights as I passed Ayodhya and other realms. I arrived at the shining world above all others, Sri Goloka, which I had long aspired to reach. Everything there appeared the same as in this divine Mathura Mandala of the material world. In that original land of Mathura, I visited Mathura city. I was surprised and happy to see that it resembled the Mathura here on earth. In that original Mathura, I heard that Kamsa had taken it upon himself to arrest his father and Krishna's parents, Devaki and Vasudeva, and was running the kingdom. Out of fear of Kamsa, whose family and friends were enemies of the demigods, the Yadavas there did not enjoy themselves freely. Because of him, they constantly suffered all sorts of affliction. Some of the Yadavas escaped elsewhere, and others took shelter of him. I too was afraid of Kamsa, so as soon as finished bathing at the Vishranti Ghata, I hurriedly left Mathura and went to glorious Vrindavan. And the realm beyond the reach of all the demigods, planetary rulers, and personal attendants of the Supreme Lord, I saw that life was going on just as here in this Aryavarta country in Bharatavarsha on earth. The sun was rising and all the natural events were taking place every day in the sky. And on the land the people were speaking and behaving in the same way as here. I was stunned by astonishment, extreme astonishment, and immersed in an ocean of ecstatic rasa. After a few moments, I saw some men who might have been cowards wandering in the forest with some ladies advanced in years and also wearing coward dress, who were picking flowers. The people there were different from anyone I had ever seen. Someone, it appeared, had stolen the wealth of their hearts and left them helplessly in love with him. Simply by seeing them, I felt the same kind of love and affection. Trying hard, I composed myself and respectfully asked them the following questions. Oh, good people, you are served by happiness so vast that the greatest sages can't obtain it even in dreams. You are reservoirs of the mercy of the Lord, the husband of the goddess of fortune, mercy for which his love and devotes always pray. Please, please, look with kindness upon this worthy wretched person who has come to you for shelter. Tell me, who is the king of this region? Where is his residence? Which road leads there? Dear most fortunate people, please be merciful to me, who am asking you with a mournful cries. Please give me some answer, O faithful devotees, if even only by gesture. Oh, please hear the words of this tormented soul. Alas, you must be under the spell of that clever cheat. In this way, I moved here and there, anxiously questioning each person I met. And as I made my way forward, I came to the pasturing grounds of the cowards. Looking around in all directions, I spotted in the distance a town adorned with the essence of all sweetness. On one side of the town, How about I heard wonderful songs, sung by coward women, and the charming sound of the churning of butter and the jingling of bangles. Uncle bells. Trying to subdue my agitated joy, I walked forward and came across a sick elderly gentleman, sobbing profusely, incessantly chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. With some skillful effort, I made him speak, and I heard him say, in a choked voice, that this town belonged to Nanda, the king of the cowards, Sri Krishna's father. As soon as I heard those words, I fainted, overcome with delight. After a moment, that compassionate old man revived me, and I ran ahead and approached a gateway of the town and sat there in the gate. And there I saw by the hundreds of thousands and 10 millions all sorts of wonders, unseen, unheard of, unimaginable by anyone of this world. O best of Brahmanas, I couldn't discern whether the people there were all enjoying the highest bliss or suffering in the grip of terrible misery. I heard the gopi songs, coupled with their crying, but were they songs of the greatest contentment or the greatest sorrow? I couldn't tell. A person seeing that place might think he was in the material world, but by carefully reflecting on whatever he had seen before, he would understand he was now somewhere above all material planes, all higher non-planetary regions, and all the transcendental realms of the spiritual world. Then an elderly lady came by. I bowed down to her and asked in a plaintive voice where Srinanda Nandana was playing today. The elderly lady said, "This morning that giver of life to us Vrajavasis went into the dense forest to play with his cows and friends and his respected elder brother. Later, at dusk, he will return." All the Vrajavasis are waiting on the path along the Yamuna, their eyes transfixed on the road. The streets stand with leaves erect, eagerly awaiting the chance to see him. Certainly, he will come along this path. Shri Gopakumara said, Shri Gopakumara said, as if anointed by a downpour of the purest nectar, I gazed with one-pointed attention down the path the old lady had pointed out. The sheer force of my ecstasy had frozen my thighs, but with some effort I moved on, and I heard from afar a certain sound. Mixed with the mowing of cows, it was the supremely attractive murmur of Krishna's enchanted flute. That sound, sweet melodies of sportingly played notes, diverse with musical embellishments, was like nothing ever heard in material world. It is attractive force at one overwhelmed everyone in the coward village. By the power of that sound, Sap flowed in a downpour from the long rows of trees. A flood of tears fell from the eyes of every embodied being in the village of the cowards. A shower of milk rained from the breasts of all Krishna's mothers, even the elderly, and the rapid currents of the Yamuna suddenly stood still. I didn't know whether that flute gave out poison or nectar of immortality, whether its sound was harsh like thunder or soft like water, hotter than blazing fire or cooler than the moon. I couldn't tell. But that sound drove all the Brajavasis mad. All of them were utterly bewildered. Then I saw some women of Raja come out of their homes, bearing in their hands the things needed to greet Krishna with worship. Others who passed by held ornaments and offering of food on their heads. Other ladies, ignoring everything around them, ran toward the mingled sounds of the mooing the cows and the song of the flute. In the frenzy of love for Krishna, the ladies stumbled down the path. Some ladies ran with their ornaments in disarray. Some could hardly keep their belts and hair tied. Some stayed in their homes, stunned like trees, and others fell unconscious to the ground. Like the Rasta dance. Some of the women who had fainted, their faces wet with tears and saliva, were carried forward by their girlfriends. Other ladies, pained by the urges of their love for Krishna, went ahead, posted on by their friends. Come see him, come see him. The ladies, so diverse in complexion and adorned with diverse ornaments and dress, put to shame the good fortune of the goddess of fortune herself. Swiftly the ladies ran to the bank of Yamuna, absorbing singing his names and pastimes. I too went forward as if pulled by someone, joining the throng of gopis rushing forward on all sides. I too began to run quickly. Then from a distance I saw him, his charming flute in hand. Running quickly, he emerged from among his friends and animals and approached me, saying in a sweet voice, "Look, Sridhama, here is my dear friend Sarupa." Sarupa is another name of Gopakumara, especially the name that Krishna used to Gopakumara. The sun who shines of the lotus of your family. Krishna was dressed for the forest. His garments, earrings, and peacock feather crowned as swayed to and fro, and so did his garland of kadamba flowers. His fragrance perfumed all directions, and his beautiful lotus face blossomed with a playful smile. His lotus eyes beamed with a merciful glance, and devoured assets of beauty decorated him in a singular way. The fingers of his lotus had busily pushed back the locks of his hair, which flew both adorned with the dust raised by the cows. Panduranga. His tender, divine lotus feet touched the surface of the earth just to grant her the gift supreme splendor. Playfully dancing as they moved, they attracted everyone's heart with their great eagerness to walk quickly with large steps. The effulgence of his cloud-colored body, shining with the full sweetness of youth, lit up all corners of the sky. His beauty, which captured the hearts of the ever-dear devotees of Raja, was an ocean abounding with countless excellences. He leapt forward and came close to me, compelled by the affection of his helpless devotee. I fainted in love at seeing him. He held me by the neck, and suddenly he too fell to the ground. A moment later, I rewoke and carefully freed my neck from his grasp. I stood up, saw him on the ground, unconscious, covered with dust. He was moistening the bed with his tears. Some gopis came and said, "Look, who has come here? What has he done? He has put our life and soul into such a state. Alas, alas, just see people of Raja, now we are all dead." This must be some servant of that great wizard Kansa. Lamenting like this in many ways, the gopis cried loudly in distress as they surrounded Krishna. Then, from behind Krishna, several groups of cowards quickly approached, seeing him in such a state. They cried with pitiful voices. From far away in the village, Nanda and the other elders, cowards, heard this terrible sound of crying. So too did Yashoda, ever affectionated to her son, and so did the other elder ladies in the maidservants. Together they all ran to the place, their feet stumbled on the bed. Bewildered, they too cried, "Alas, alas." So dramatic. Then the cows and bulls, calves came there, and the black deer and other animals. Seeing Krishna in that state, they wept in agony. The animals, all crying out in love, their faces drenched with floods of tears, approached Krishna one by one, gently smelled and licking him again and again. Great numbers of birds flying overhead told also their misery by making a tumultuous noise that sounded like people crying. And the immobile creators, in great pain waiting, seemed suddenly to dry up. What more is there to say? All beings moving and no moving were the verge of death. As for me, I was drowning in a vast ocean of sorrow, confused about what to do, severely tormented. I put Krishna's feet on my head and began profusely sobbing and lamenting. Smart. Then Lord Balarama, Krishna's older brother, quickly arrived from some distance away, full of fear. with complexion and arrayed in blue garments. He appeared charming, for he was the same age as Krishna and as nicely dressed. Lord Balabhadra, this is name especially used in Jagannath Puri. The most skillful of persons cried for a moment, but then seemed to regain his composure and looked all around. With great care and attention, he made me hold his younger brother by the neck with my arms. He wiped Krishna's beautiful limbs clean with my hand and made me loudly call out to him with many plaintive cries. Then he made me lift Krishna up from the ground. Suddenly, Krishna opened his eyes, sealed till then by a flood of tears. Seeing me, he joyfully embraced and kissed me. But then he looked around and became embarrassed. That best of lords took my hand in his own left Lord's hand, and received me as long-lost bosom friend. He asked me various questions. Then he greeted all the people of Raja and entered the best of covered villages with the gait of an elephant. The forest animals were miserable because now they had apart from him. Unable to go anywhere without him, they simply stood at the entrance of the village, ready to spend the entire night there in the hope of seeing their Lord again the next morning. In another moment, Sanatana Goswami described the Krishna and cowboys going to the forest to tend calves and cows. And the separation of Nanda, Yashoda, and the gopis is so fun, so dramatic also. The birds flew here and there, high over the village to watch him. But when night came and they could no longer see him, they cried out as if weeping and flew away. At the insistence of Nanda Maharaj, who was anxious with love for his sons, just after milking the cows, the two brothers went to their home. They went home at once, not even giving the cows proper attention. Mother Yashoda quickly came to meet the boys, her clothing and body wet with the milk flowing from her breasts and the tears that flowed from her eyes and nose. Together with Rohini, she offered lamps to both brothers, worshipping each limb of their bodies again and again. Yashoda performed arati to her son. This is very fun also. Yashoda performed arati to her son Krishna by caressing him with her own hair and affectionately embracing and kissing him. She couldn't decide whether she ought to keep him on her head, at her breast, or within her womb to protect him. Krishna, anxious with love for me, brought me there outside his home and had me offer respects to her and Mother Yashoda, seeing the great love Krishna had for me, happily caressing me as though I were her own son. This is very interesting because this behavior of Mother Yashoda is the behavior of our original mother. the good mothers in this world have this behavior also. But the relationships between bodies, material bodies, is temporary. But the interesting is all mothers in this world have this behavior because this came from the original behavior that came from Mother Yashoda, the original mother. Then the gopis arrived. There at once. Some had made excuse for coming, and others had paid no regard to what anyone told. Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini got really too bad Krishna and his brother. But when the Lord Krishna saw this, being eager to enjoy with the coward girls, he said, "Dear mothers, we brothers are very hungry. To please make some rice, send for our father and feed us right away." Upon hearing those words, the gopis said affectionately, "Shri Yashoda, Queen of Raja, and dear Rohini Devi, please set this work of baton aside. Please quickly prepare everything to feed these two boys. We shall gladly give them a proper bath without delay." Shri Yashoda said, "Dear girls, first quickly bath the older boy, then send him off fetch Nanda for the meal." Shri Sarupa said, welcoming and praising Yashoda's words. Several of the gopis quickly backed Balarama and sent him off. Meanwhile, the two mothers went into the house. The gopis divided up the service among themselves. They removed Krishna's various ornaments one by one and wiped his limbs with their own garments. But when they asked for his flute, who was like their rival consort, and tried to snatch it from his lord's hand, Krishna made a sign to alert me and threw it from a distance into my open palm. Protective flute. The gopis smeared fine oils on Krishna and slowly removed the excess with their soft lotus hands expert in touch. Yet Krishna, either because his body was so tender or else simply out of playful naughtiness, suddenly drew in his breath, making a sound of pain, and distorted his beautiful face. His mother, her life dedicated only to his welfare, heard that sound and quickly came outside and asked him, "What has happened? What has happened?" But when she saw her son's smiling face, she went back into the house, and the gopis, laughing yet afraid, started to sing as they finished Krishna's massage. Next, the playful bathed him with warm, clear, fragrant water carried from the Yamuna in jewel-studded vessels and small clay pots. Okay, now this is the verse 97. I will read it to the verse 100. They dressed him like an actor and decorated him the way he liked, with coats, jewelry, wonderful garlands, and perfume fasts, all brought from their homes. They stillly fed him something, worshipped him again and again with prescribed eatings, and then placed those eatings on their heads. They decorated his throat, his forehead, his cheeks, and so on, with wonderful designs made with first-class pastes of sandal, saffron, and musk. While he lovingly gazed at the gopis, they tried hard to keep their hands steady, as with pleasure they set about daubing collyrium on his lord's eyes to make them shine. Okay? I stop here or I continue? Krishna spoke freely with them about how he enjoyed sporting in the forest, and by joking with them in various charming ways, he inspired their special conjugal love. Oh, well, have Mother Yashoda also. In the midst of all these love exchanges, the decoration never quite got finished. The gopis had to keep erasing their attempts and trying again and again. Mother Yashoda, her heart perturbed by affection for her son, came outside several times to see what was going on and spoke to the girls as if angry. Sri Yashoda said, "All daughters of the cowards, you are just unreliable children. Haven't you finished bathing and decorating him yet?" Sri Sarupa said, as the gopis stood around the beloved Krishna, glancing at him again and again, one elderly lady noticed that Krishna seemed eager from some joking words. She therefore spoke up. "My goodness, come here, my daughter Yashoda. You will be happy to see this. These girls have made your dark blue son very handsome." Hearing these joking words from the elderly lady, her nurse Mukara, Yashoda again came outside, and when she understood the joke, she spoke out as if angry. Sri Yashoda declared, "All kinds of natural beauty worship the lotus feet of my Shyamasundar, who dances with abandon on the head of the universe." For sure, the beauty of all these gopis combined in service, not even a show of respect from the beauty of even the tip of one his toenails. Sri Sarupa said, Is it impossible to describe his beauty, the splendor of his effulgent complexion, or his charming sweetness? To that sweetness, no thing in this world can compare, nor can even the sweetness of God himself in other forms, not even as the Lord of Dwarka. As Krishna is the most superb of all romantic heroes, so Radha is the most superb of heroines. And as Radha is the most superb of all romantic heroines, so Krishna is the most superb of heroes. When the gopis saw that Nanda, king of cowards, had taken his bath and had arrived with Balarama, they all speedily disappeared, and Krishna came forward. Nanda sat down, and now is the Bhojana. Nanda sat down on his golden seat in the dining hall and began to have his meal with the two brothers at his sides. Majabhakatavatsa Shri Gaurahari. Yashoda's darling child sat on his left, the son of Rohini on his right, and at the strong insistence of this brother, I sat directly opposite in my own place. From inside the house of Sri Hari Rohini, sent the emperor of mills, arranged in many jeweled bedback vessels of gold and silver. Mother Yashoda, with great affection, served the food of all four kinds and endowed with all good qualities, and Krishna began to eat. He heartily devoured the various delicacies which filled men separate bowls brought in on a large gold platter. At one point, his mother, his father, and his brother took turns carefully putting morsels into his mouth. Morsels he playfully accepted. What is morsels?
Like crumbs.
Now and then he also drank all sorts of splendid beverages, carried in large bowls, and pure water carried in pitchers. At the start of the meal, he ate warm sweet rice with ghee and sugar, very tasty, together with cakes, pies, jalebs, and flatbreads. Jalebs is fantastic. He had other eatings fried in ghee, and he also had sweetened yogurt and varieties made from transformations of yogurt and milk. In the middle of the meal, he ate fine white rice, warm, fragrant, and tender, with fried dal balls and dal wafers, and leaf greens and soups, and other vegetable dishes. He had other eatings made mostly of milk products and mainly sweet and sour in taste, plus sour things mixed with salt and pungent spices. Tired and he once again ate sweetened yogurt, various other eatings made from yogurt and buttermilk, garnished with asafoetida and other spices. And while he himself ate, he also fed me. Neither words nor mind can form a picture of how Krishna's lovely tongue, rising to his damp pink upper lip while he chewed, sport within the cheeks of his lotus face, a face resplendent with the beautiful dancing of his lotus eyes and bow-like eyebrows. The goats brought from their homes many sweets cooked in milk, ghee, and sugar, and placed them before Mother Yashoda. With wonderful, playful gestures, Krishna had thrown out the dishes the goats had brought, praising every eaten and eaten from each dish more than once. He thus made all the goats happy, and he also fed some those eatings to me with his own hand. Krishna is very sympathetic. Next, Sri Radhika brought the Manohara ladus, bought small round ones and large flat ones, and set them down on Krishna's left. Radharani is the supreme cooking. She received a blessing of Durvasa Muni that all things that Radharani is cooking will be nectar. Yes, it's a great blessing to Radharani serve Krishna. All things that she cooking is like nectar. It's the cooking supreme. The cookings need to worship Radharani by cooking very nice. Krishna picked up a few of those sweets with the nails of his thumb and forefingers and put them on the tip of his tongue. He then made their faces if they tasted like bitter. Krishna's brother smiled, but his mother was angry at Sri Radhika, and his father was surprised. Radha's innocent girlfriends were pained, and her antagonists were delighted. Since I was born in the family of Radharani's brother, Krishna threw all the laddus onto my plate. Surprised to find them extremely tasty, I ate them all. Radha secretly looked at Krishna and arched her eyebrows. And Krishna nodding his head, gratifying her with a gentle smile and a sidelong glance. Suddenly I understood this was a pastime by the Christian Jew of skillful actors to thoroughly please the devotees, tormented by the weight of their love for him. Then Krishna properly washed his mouth and playfully chewed some excellent pan. Glancing at Radhika, he put the chewed pan into my mouth. Krishna's mother, anxious with affection, chanted mantras and rubbing his belly with her left palm again and again to make sure he would digest what he had eaten. Okay, I will finish here. If you want to have a comment.
I just wanted to ask where the Vajrabhakata Vatsala.
This is a song composed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Vajrabhakata Vatsala Shri Gora Hari, Shri Gora Hari Shri Goshtami Hari, Nanda Yashoda Chitta Hari. Yes, this song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes this scene. Yes, probably Bhaktivinoda Thakur took inspiration by Bhagavatamrita or even the Srimad Bhagavatam, the books of Goswamis. Yes, this is very interesting because this is a Krishna have every day eight stages of pastimes. Ashtakaliya Lila. Every day.
Oh.
And one of these pastimes is the bhojan, the lunch. And here we have the fortune of hear or see these happenings in the spiritual world. This is the main food. Yes, this is the food for our meditation. Yes, in the platforms with more purity. Yes, after Nishta. This is the description that we will meditate in the spiritual world. In this case, Sanatana Goswami is a pure devotee of Krishna. He see directly these pastimes in Vraja. Yes, the Manjaris are a servant of Srimati Radharani because they can see these pastimes directly. But in our case, in the future, we can meditate in this pastime. But even now, it's a great privilege. We heard about the spiritual world. Yes, this is a very secret, this is a very confidential information. Yes, nobody are interested, and nobody knows about this in this material world, especially in this moment in Kali Yuga. Okay? Srila Sanatana Goswami ki, Shri Brihat Bhagavatamrita ki, Shri Krishna Jamastami Maha Mahotsava ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Pramanande,
Maha Krishna ki.
Go Bhaktavinda ki.
Bhakata
Yeah. It's good.
Hari.
Krishna is not
Yeah.
spiritual.
It was on the Maha Krishna temple LP, I think, on this.
What thing?
On the Maha Krishna.
Yeah, so the record.
I think
Yeah.
so.
The pioneers.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
very special.
Definitely.
Oh, for a certain time.